All right, today we are diving into one of the most famous and honestly one of the most beautiful stories from the Lotus Sutra. It's all about a massive journey, this mysterious city that appears out of nowhere, and a guide who has a very clever plan up his sleeve. So let's get right into it. You know that feeling, right? When you've set some huge, ambitious goal. You start off super strong, full of energy, but then you hit that wall, that middle part where the end seems so far away. You get exhausted, maybe a little scared, and that little voice in your head starts whispering, hey, maybe we should just turn back. Well, believe it or not, this ancient parable is all about that exact feeling.
So, let's set the scene. Picture a group of travelers. They are on the quest of a lifetime. Their goal? To get to this legendary land of treasures, a place just filled with incredible riches. I mean, this is everything they've ever wanted.
But of course, the journey is anything but a walk in the park. The text says it's 500 times yojanas long. Now, a yojana is an ancient unit of distance, and, well, let's just say it's vast, like an almost unimaginable distance. And the road itself? It's treacherous. It's a barren wilderness. No food, no water, just danger at every turn. And yeah, exactly what you'd expect to happen, happens. They hit their breaking point. They are just completely exhausted, they're scared, and their morale is shot. They go to their guide and basically say, we're done, we can't go on. This treasure, it's not worth it, we're going home. The whole quest is about to fall apart. Okay, but here's the thing. Their guide, he's not just any guide. He's incredibly wise, incredibly compassionate. He sees their despair, he totally gets it. But he also knows something they don't. They are so close to the prize. He just can't let them quit now. So he hatches this brilliant and really kind plan. So what does he do? It's genius, really. He doesn't just give them a pep talk. No, he uses his powers to conjure up this incredible, magnificent city right in the middle of their path, a safe place for them to rest. And here's the key part. He tells them, you did it, you've arrived. He lets them believe they've reached the end. Now this isn't about tricking them, it's an act of compassion. Once they're rested and their spirits are high again, he makes the city disappear and reveals the truth. He says, look, that was just a rest stop. The real treasure is just a little further, and now you have the strength to make it. Okay, so that's a great story, right? But it's obviously not just a travel adventure. It's a parable. It's a metaphor for something way bigger. And to really get what it means, we need to pull the camera back. I mean, way back. You see, the Buddha tells this story to set up a much deeper teaching. One that comes from a time so ancient it basically breaks our brains to think about. He's about to tell us a story about a Buddha from the deep past.
And when I say deep past, I mean it. The time frame he uses is an Asankhya Kalpa. Now, that's not 1,000,000 years or even 1,000,000,000. The word itself literally means incalculable or innumerable. It's a number so big, it's basically infinity. It's beyond math.
So how do you even begin to imagine a time frame like that? Well, the text gives us this absolutely mind-bending analogy to try and help. Get this. Imagine grinding up an entire world, our whole planet, into a fine powder, like ink. Then, you travel 1,000 kingdoms to the east and you drop just one tiny speck of that ink. Then you travel another 1,000 kingdoms, drop another speck. You keep doing this over and over until all the ink is gone. Now think about all those worlds you passed, the ones you dropped ink on and all the ones you didn't. Each one of those worlds, that's a kalpa. The story the Buddha is telling, it happened longer ago than all of those combined.
So way back then, in that impossibly distant past, there lived a Buddha named Datong Zhisheng. His name means something like Great Universal Wisdom Victory. And his own journey to enlightenment was no small feat. He meditated for 10 small kalpas before he finally achieved his goal. And when he became enlightened, the whole universe apparently felt it. From literally every direction you can imagine, east, west, north, south, up, down, divine beings, these Brahma kings, saw this brilliant light and came rushing to him. And they all had the exact same plea, please you have to teach us, please teach the Dharma. But you know what finally convinced him? It was the request of his own 16 sons. They had all become his disciples, and when they asked, he finally agreed to teach the ultimate, highest truth, which is, of course, the teaching of the Lotus Sutra itself. Okay, so now we have these two seemingly separate stories, right? We've got the tired travelers and the phantom city, and then we have this epic tale of an ancient Buddha. So, what's the connection? Well, figuring that out is the whole point of the parable.
The bridge between these two stories is a really important concept called upaya, which is usually translated as skillful means, and it's the absolute heart of this whole thing. It's all about the Buddha's incredible ability, his genius really, to adapt his teachings for his audience. He knows not everyone is ready for the final truth, so he skillfully creates these intermediate steps, these temporary goals to guide people along the path.
So let's break down the metaphor. It actually maps out really cleanly. The wise guide from our story? That's the Buddha. The exhausted travelers? Well, that's us, all of us, on our own spiritual journeys. The treasure land at the end is the ultimate goal, full, complete Buddhahood. So what's the phantom city? That's the skillful means. It's that temporary goal, that resting place, created to help us keep going.
And this is so important. The Buddha understands human nature. He knows that if he just came out and said, hey everyone, the path to full enlightenment is unbelievably long and difficult, most people would just say, nope, not for me, too hard. They'd be so intimidated they wouldn't even start the journey.
So out of this deep compassion, he uses skillful means. He creates a phantom city, a goal that feels achievable. Think of it as reaching an initial stage of enlightenment or finding a deep sense of peace. He says, just get here. This is a safe place. And it is a real achievement, a wonderful place to be. But it's not the final destination.
And just when you think the story is wrapping up, we get the biggest plot twist of the whole chapter. After telling this incredible story that spans literal eons, the Buddha we know, Shakyamuni Muni, turns to his followers and drops a bombshell. He says that the 16th prince from that ancient story was him. He was that 16th son in a previous life.
And if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, it gets even deeper. He then explains that the very people listening to him right now are the same souls he first started teaching all those kalpas ago as that 16th prince. Their teacher-student relationship has literally spanned an unimaginable amount of time. So this huge cosmic story suddenly becomes incredibly personal. It brings everything, the travelers, the phantom city, the ancient Buddha, right back to this very moment. So what's the big lesson here? What are we supposed to take away from all this?
The message is really powerful, and it's pretty simple. Any milestone you reach, any goal you achieve that brings you peace or satisfaction, it might be a phantom city. And that's not a bad thing. It's a wonderful, crucial place to rest and recharge. But its purpose isn't to be the final stop. Its purpose is to give you the strength to keep going, to reach for that real treasure, that ultimate goal you might have thought was way out of your league.
And so that really leaves us with a big question for ourselves, doesn't it? When you look at your own journey, your own goals in life, are you building a permanent home and a comfortable resting place? Or are you recognizing it for what it is, a base camp, a place to gather your strength before you make that final push toward the real treasure that's waiting just over the horizon?